This software will help you understand and leverage your numbers. Any spending decision you make about winning new customers needs to be tested. There are only two types of poor spending in my mind, those forced on you and those you make yourself. Let me give you a quick walkthrough so you can start to uncover your own customer winning numbers. In the grey tab at the top there are 4 buttons. Reset, which will zero any numbers you set in the Questions tab. Print will allow you to print the page or tab you are currently on. You can just keep a hard copy of the information you choose to that way. Print All will naturally print every tab. And finally, Submit will allow you, if you want, to submit your numbers through to us if you want us to check them or help you make the most of them. Now, SensiSpend is a developing product. What you see here is phase 2. It's our first conversion into the cloud. You may find it just a little clunky, which will be sorted, but bear with it, it's worth it. At present, it has to write the data you enter in real time to the browser's data store, which is a little like the luggage room in a hotel. We thought it was better to give you access as soon as possible, and so the positive outweighs the negative. The benefit of this real-time write to a data store in your web browser is that you can come back to your figures later and they will still be there. This is great if you start to adjust them as you track in your numbers when the activity or spending decision you make is underway. Now, it's very important to stress the data is only stored in your own web browser's system in the device you use, so it's private. Our number and contact details are always there if you need help and support, so don't be shy in asking. We want to help you. Now, the Questions tab, we have 13 questions. Please answer all of them by entering the numbers or using the sliders. Questions 1 to 4 are about conversion to sale. These will help you track in your numbers as you do activity. If you roll your mouse over the Information tab, this will help you understand what they're about. We believe having 5 stages, which are exposure, interest, engagement, conversation and sale, over the typical 3 stages most people use, help you track results more closely. Once you've completed your answers, the remaining tabs deliver all the information you'll need in various ways to help you start to think about, test and track your spending decision. The Budget tab. This information is what we typically see many small and medium-sized businesses review to make an important spending decision. It's easy to understand, but we wouldn't suggest it's the safest way just on its own merit. In the Activity tab, we ask the question, how do you know your budget is enough? It could be too much, which is wasteful. It could be too low, so you never stand a chance of winning even before you fire the pistol to start your race. We break down your initial answers into activity. If you know how many exposures you need to get one sale and how that breaks down, you can test how you're doing. Are you doing enough to make the win a real possibility, or are you being wasteful? When testing scenarios before you commit to a spending decision, this allows you to prepare without committing a single penny. As you get to know the conversions at each stage, you'll be able to refine your approach. The low and high range on this page indicates the minimum exposures being tracked to break even and recover your initial investment. And the high is how high you can go without having to touch any existing money or funds that were in your bank, so long as the sales are tracking as planned. Now, break even. This is useful because it can be quite worrying to small and medium businesses when the numbers you plan don't track straight away. It is, after all, a funny old world. The break even gives you a comfort cushion, a backstop to help you keep calm and go with it. This is the minimum result you need to ensure your investment is repaid, and yet you can still then benefit from the exposure and additional sales you might have had. This is also a key figure because it can save you money another way, which is that it's just as important to know when not to carry on before the milk gets fully spilt. Lifetime value. This is probably one of the most important set of figures for any business. This deals with the future profit, or potentially lack of, from a customer. It's sensible to keep an eye on a one customer and have a steady plan to keep them happy, buying and loyal. The figures here show you the year one profit, how long they should stay with you, what they are therefore worth to you in future profit terms that it puts into the business. Big businesses have extremely complicated ways of working closely with these numbers, but it does work and they do very well. The customer acquisition cost. We've included this because once you do track in your numbers, you may find that you have to make a quick reaction decision about influences you can't control. For example, a competitor working against you, which could affect your spending decision. This screen gives you an average calculation of sales, the spend per customer and the months for that spend to be paid back in year one. What we've also done is broken down each month against your target sales as a quick reference. Return on investment is a useful but misused figure, usually by people selling services. We've added a few more columns to give you a real view of the position. This column here is an accruing figure that lets you see the gross margin profit after you have deducted the cost of sale as well as the campaign spend to date. This is potentially the money you can use to increase spend to support the decision you've made if things don't go to plan, without having to touch any existing monies that were in the bank when you started. The pot figure lets you see how that stacks for money actually available from the preceding month if you haven't touched it, and what would be available that month if you hit your numbers, so you don't overcommit. We'll talk about the X factor figure in the next tab. So the X factor, this is a number often used by VCs in Fortune 500 companies. Very simple, deceptively so. The higher the number, the better the performance. So you can see in a second, the blink of an eye, if you need to give the spending decision more time to review, so you can mine and check the figures, or if you can smile and close the browser. The booster tab, this takes information we discussed in the return on investment tab. It gives you the budget and also the maximum range that you could spend if you met 100% of your target. So in essence, it's using the year one profit spend, bearing in mind we're looking at customers being with us over a lifetime, not just necessarily year one. It's also great to show suppliers this, as it encourages them that you are open to spending more as the results come in, if they are prepared to work with you on your terms and be supportive of your goals. Finally, we have the loyalty tab. Everybody's so busy winning new customers they can forget about the ones they already work so hard to have. This helps you factor them in. They are, after all, easier and way cheaper to sell to. The numbers show you the future profit worth, which alone is a good enough reason to pay this set of numbers close attention. You can actually tweak these on the report page. Reducing the customers you lose each year shouldn't be an afterthought. It should be an integral part of your customer winning strategy. And finally, we have the report page. This is an amalgamation of all the numbers we have covered in one handy printout. We'd recommend until the next phase of the software launches you print this page each time you adjust your answers to the questions, so that when you're tracking in your numbers it will provide a good record. And of course, a little knowledge is worth a great deal for the next number adventure you have. Getting to grips with your own numbers is really only step one. We have some really powerful tools that can mine and examine the data exhaust your competitors are leaving out there each day, and knowing how they are doing and what they are doing is a powerful strategy to ensure you win over them better every time. So I look forward to helping you and toasting your success. Enjoy, have fun. I'm always here to help, so don't be shy in calling or messaging. Thanks for listening.